Hi everyone and welcome to Service for the Community. I'm your host Matt Blown. Today we have Joette Kuntz of the Garden Club and Mary Salone from the Rotary Club. How's everyone doing today?
Great.
Great.
Good deal, good deal. Mary, we're going to start with you. Tell us a little bit about the Rotary's Youth Exchange.
Well, we're very involved in Youth Exchange, and we're real excited about it. I think Jeff Lichty from our club has been here and talked about it before. Last year we hosted 2 students, one from France, one from Italy.
Awesome.
They're part of a group of Youth Exchange students from 52 clubs in our district.
Okay.
This year we're going to host a girl from Switzerland, a boy from Ecuador, and a girl from Thailand.
Okay.
And they've started to arrive.
Awesome.
So they'll be here. It's great fun.
Now, is it a semester-long period? Is it a year-long period?
It's a year long. We try to have 3 host families per student.
Okay.
So they stay with 3 different families,
Oh, okay.
experience different parts of our culture. So we learn a lot about them. They learn a lot about us.
I guess I didn't realize that they got to have kind of different families. I guess I assumed it was just one family for the whole year.
We'd like to have them have different experiences.
Sure, no, that sounds great.
yeah.
Sounds great. If that's something anyone from Clarkson's interested in, do they just contact Rotary Club or?
Contact the Rotary Club, and sometimes people from the community say, oh, I'm going to, the DIA to see the Star Wars costume exhibit.
Sure.
Maybe your student would like to come, and we really like to show them as much as we can of our culture.
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Joette, let's shift gears to the Garden Club here, and you're going to talk about the Lonely Bouquet, if I'm saying that correctly.
Lonely Bouquet. Yes.
Okay.
Well, Lonely Bouquet is kind of a worldwide event, usually in June, but it can happen anytime during the year. It started up just in England with somebody trying to add a little act of kindness to things, and she was just taking flowers from her own garden and leaving them around her town. And that's the lonely piece, because the idea is that the bouquet doesn't have an owner, and so you can just go pick it up. And it's kind of grown across the world. And so the idea is that you create a bouquet from and the Garden Club did, on Monday created probably 40 bouquets.
Okay.
Some from our gardens and some from, we purchased some flowers and we left them around the community.
Okay.
And with a little note that said, this is a lonely bouquet, I need a home, please take me home.
Okay.
And so that's the story behind the Lonely Bouquet. Pam Mirren, one of our members, kind of brought this idea from North Carolina, that they had done it.
Okay.
If anybody's interested in looking at it, anybody can do it at any time.
Sure.
And there's a lot on the web that you just put in Lonely Bouquet, and you can see lots of smiles from people who get those flowers. So,
How do you guys kind of pick off the drop points? Do you just kind of drop them off in popular areas? Do you do some kind of popular areas, some kind of more
well, we might
secretive or less foot traffic?
Yeah, well, we kind of, we go to Depot Park, we may go downtown, we may go to the library, we may go to an assisted living and just leave them somewhere. And people are curious,
Sure.
what are these flowers doing, or what is this
Well, if
bouquet?
you see a lovely
Yeah.
bouquet of flowers just
Yeah.
like sitting off to the side or something.
Yeah, and then they read the little tag that goes with them, and then they know they can go home. And over the years, we've done this for approximately 3 years, and we get, and we say it's from the Garden Club, and so people will say, oh, my daughter just went to college today, and I was so lonely, she left for college, and I was so lonely, thinking I might be an empty nester.
Sure.
And this was just a pick-me-up, and I just felt so good. Or, sometimes in an assisted living or independent living situation, it's like people don't always get flowers.
Sure.
And it's like how nice it was to do that. Or, people have good days, bad days, and sometimes if they find something, it's kind of like finding one of the Clarkston rocks,
Sure. You ever have people say like, oh, I forgot so-and-so's birthday and I found the flowers. Woo!
No, I
Saved me.
Well, they don't talk about it.
Okay.
They
True, if
not
you forgot
talk-
someone's birthday, you might want to keep that a little quiet. Keep it a little
Absolutely,
secretive.
yes. But so it's just one day a year. It's just little acts of kindness that we do. So
Very nice.
it's not a fundraising. It's not a
It's
you know,
just
it's not a service. Service project. It's just a little act of kindness.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
And we have I think we have a video a little bit about that.
Yes, we do. So let's go ahead and take a look at that video. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Mary, we'll go back to you now, and Rotary has kind of event that's happening at Taste of Clarkston. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right. Every year we have a beer and wine tent
Okay.
at the Taste of Clarkston. We get to know a lot of people. We get to advertise some of our fundraisers and our projects. And last year the weather was really nice.
Sure.
So it really makes a difference if the weather's nice. So hopefully
course.
this year it's going to be like the weather we've been having. It's been great.
Oh yeah. I know the Chamber of Commerce is always really watching
Oh.
the weather as that date comes
They have
closer.
to really
you know.
be worried and, as we lead up to that day. There's
Sure.
been some where we had to stop early because the storm was coming through, but the last couple years have been really, really good.
Well, good.
So let's hope.
Indeed.
It is a
Indeed.
community event.
It is a community
Oh,
event.
it's a great event to see people and different businesses
Yeah.
and different organizations just kind of mingling around and whatnot. It's always pretty well attended. I think we stopped by last year and it's pretty packed.
It was very packed.
I think they
last
say
year.
10,000,
Yeah.
but great food and
Great
from the
food. You get
restaurants.
to taste foods from a
and-
lot of restaurants that
Oh, yeah.
you might not try otherwise or
Yeah.
might not have had
And
the
you can always see
opportunity
your
to try.
neighbors down there, probably.
Yeah.
See people from all over.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
For
Great
sure.
event. We're looking forward to it.
Awesome. Joette, tell us a little bit about the Clarkston Farm.
Well, the Clarkston Farm is really a nonprofit here in Clarkston, and it's probably, I want to say, 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
The Clarkston Garden Club is always looking for ways to educate young people about agriculture and the environment. And so the Clarkston Farm was sort of a natural partnership for us. And so we've given our civic project a grant to them. And for a couple of things, for things on the farm that they need to do, plus to pay for travel for kids in the Clarkston schools to be able to travel to the farm for field trips. And so it's both educating where does agriculture come from. They have fresh eggs out there. They grow. They have a hoop house where they grow vegetables. Plus, they have an apple orchard. They have a pond. And they have camps for kids in the summertime, which my granddaughter has been a part of.
Sure.
So I'm a little more educated about it.
Sure.
But the Garden Club will be meeting out there in September for our meeting to go through and look at things that are going on. And the Clarkston Farm has a sustainability, plus, you can give grants, but
Sure.
you don't always want to give to the same place.
Right.
So they actually have a little farm store there that they're working towards sustainability for the
Okay.
farm. But they've got 19 chickens with fresh eggs. And
Oh, wow.
at 4th of July, our job, my husband and I volunteered to put the chickens in, which was a story that you don't want to put chickens in too early, not 19 of them. But this is the 70th year of the Clarkston Farm and Garden Club.
Okay.
And so we're always looking. It was the Farm and Garden Club's mission was teaching about agriculture and gardening, and so it's just a perfect partnership for us.
And when you see they have different camps, what are like some of the camps they do? Is some more about just the agriculture part, some more about kind of like the chickens, maybe livestock, or?
Well, as a grandma, I can talk about this, maybe
Sure.
more than the garden club, but as a grandma. The first day was the pond.
Okay.
And so they have a pond with frogs and all kinds of natural animals
Sure,
that
sure.
would tracks, things like that. I think the second day was trees. And so they went from domestic trees like apple trees to an oak tree,
Sure.
something that would be natural. One day was butterflies and bees.
Okay.
And they have a person there that is a beekeeper, so they understand that. Dear to my heart is the butterflies, because my granddaughter, who's 11, absolutely loves butterflies and monarchs. And so they brought in Debbie, and I don't know what her last name, who's the monarch lady. And they were all given a chrysalis to take home.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so this chrysalis that my granddaughter took home went to Portland, Oregon. And the big question is, and the butterfly has come out.
Okay.
And it's been released. Now, will it fly to California because it's on the West Coast, or will it fly to Mexico,
Interesting.
which is where our monarchs go in the winter. So it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
wherever it goes. But so there's they do tracks. There's just
A lot of
a variety
day-to-day
of things.
kind of variety of things.
But I know that Scampers went there for a day, and it was a great place for them to kind of do all four. They had 4 stations that they did,
Okay.
and I heard a talk about that yesterday, and they were all delighted to be out in the environment. And kids don't always know where eggs come from, or where
Sure.
lettuce comes from,
Sure.
or
Well, it comes from the fridge.
or
It
beets.
comes from
Yes.
the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's why it's a great resource for our
Sure.
community, and that's why the Garden Club is supportive of
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's great.
Okay.
That's great.
That is good. That's
Mary, we'll go back to you again. Tell us a little about this beer and wine party.
Yes,
You guys have
every
coming
fall we have our big fundraiser. It's the beer and wine party. It's October 25th this year. And it used to be just wine.
Mm-hmm.
Then a couple years ago we added beer. And this year we're talking about adding spirits.
Ooh,
So it's going to be the
okay.
beer, wine, and spirits party this year.
So it has a progression to it.
Yeah, we'll see. We Rochester Rotary Club kind of copied this party, and they added spirits this year. And we thought, boy, that looked popular. So we had
Sure.
the spirits people come and talk at our club, and we're gonna really talk about having a little one table.
Well, there's always those craft. I mean, it's becoming very popular. Craft spirits and
Craft
craft,
beer, yeah,
Sure.
beer.
yeah. And this year, one of our beer members asked that we have cider.
Oh.
You know, that hard cider. or
I've
what-
even heard some restaurants doing some kind of like spirits and beer pairing, where like,
Oh.
well, if you get that kind of spirit, it goes really well with this kind of beer or something like that. So
Oh.
I've seen some people do kind of unique mixes of that kind
That'll be interesting.
of
So-
situation as well.
I hope people put it on their calendar. It's our biggest fundraiser. It allows us to do a lot of good in the community and in the world. October 25th.
I was just going to say, when is it again?
October 25th, 6:30 to 8:30 at Bordine Nursery.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And it's also
Great.
getting ready for Christmas, or Bourdain's usually.
Oh, well, it's a beautiful time at Bordine's. Yes, they've got all their Christmas things out, and it's really a wonderful event.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me share that.
No problem. No problem. And Joanne, I think the last thing you want to talk about was the mini grants that the Garden Club does.
Yes, the Garden Club has a couple of fundraisers a year, which are the Garden Walk, which was very successful thanks to the weather and a lot of work from the Garden Club members. And then we also have the Greens Market the first Saturday in December. But that money is not for us, it's for the community. And one of the ways that we feel that we can touch more students on the environment and agriculture is to give mini grants to teachers. And this year we've raised the mini grant up to $1,000 per teacher,
Okay.
so they can apply. Those mini grants, I believe, will be in the schools sometime in early September.
Okay. So pretty close. Pretty soon.
Yes, and you know, they can be a variety of things. Last year, there's an apiary club. Mr. Olson at the high school received a grant to help him with beekeeping. They have
I was going to say, I think in the past episode you talked about a
yeah,
beekeeping project.
beekeeping project, and they've got some hives there at the high school. And but it can be as simple as more books in a teacher's library that have to do with the environment or trees or whatever fits with their curriculum for the year. So there's a lot of different possibilities. It just has to be tied to
Kind of outdoor.
environmental, agriculture, those kinds of things. And but it's for teachers K through 12, and something that they want for their classroom that they may not be able to
Sure.
get through. It may be an extra, maybe an enrichment piece,
Sure.
something like that.
Do you find some teachers try to do it like yearly, or is it more kind of one-off kind of specialty projects, or a
I
little
think
bit
it's
of both?
specialty projects,
Okay.
basically. You know, we've done this for about 7 years. I think we've done about $16,000 worth of mini grants over the years. I mean, 16,000 probably a total, that's
Sure,
what I
sure.
say. But it's a support for the teachers, something that they really want to do. We know that teachers spend a lot of money out of their own pocket.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a way to maybe save them a few dollars and
Ease
let
the
them,
burden of that while
yeah.
also having a cool project for the students.
Cool
to
project for the
participate in.
student. Hands-on projects are real. I mean, you know, it takes all kinds, but hands-on projects, kids learn a lot of things
Oh,
from it.
sure.
So
I remember in elementary school, we were talking earlier about the butterflies and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, I think we had a project where we had classroom butterflies or
Mm-hmm.
something, and we had let them out, and you can read about that, but seeing it is a very
Yes.
different thing.
Well, you know, it could be as simple as having Debbie the monarch lady come and give you a talk in your class,
Sure.
and then this is the second year my granddaughter has done this project, but she looks under every
Weed,
milkweed leaf to see if there are eggs.
Hmm.
She's quite the little, naturalist, and I don't know. She lives in the city of Portland, so she doesn't. There's no milkweed
Hmm. Right.
around her house. There, it's all pretty
So she
manicured.
tries to get a fill when she's around.
But so, it takes all kinds of things to help kids, and if there's something that the teacher feels is really supportive of her curriculum in that environmental science, agricultural kind of piece, we'd like to help. I hope they will fill out a mini grant.
What's the general range you guys find the mini grants in? Like what's kind of one of the smaller ones? What's kind of one of the bigger
Well, it
ones?
goes to, I think we've given up, well, if it's from, say, $100 to $1,000. So it doesn't
Okay.
have to be $1,000.
Sure.
It can be
But it can be
small.
$100. It can
it
be
can be,
something
yeah.
relatively small.
Yes. We'll say you want 20 books on trees or something like that for your classroom or
Sure.
for your library. Well, maybe those are 7, so that would be $1,400. Well, that's $1,400, 7.
Yeah.
Yeah,
140.
$1,400. But something, whatever is
Sure.
works for the classroom is, and don't be afraid to ask. And members of the garden club sit together and kind of review them.
Sure.
And we're happy to help write them, or happy to help with ideas to write them. We're not going to write them for them, but we
Sure,
will.
sure.
We'll give them ideas. It's you're not going before Chase Bank.
Right. It's not a scary experience.
No, it's not a
Right.
scary experience. Probably takes maybe 90 minutes at the most.
Okay. Well, awesome. Well, before we wrap up the show today, do you guys have any other closing thoughts or last minute things you want to mention?
No.
Well, when does Rotary Club and Garden Club meet?
Rotary Club meets Monday evening, 6:30, every Monday at Buckshot's Bar and Grill.
Okay.
And the Garden Club meets the first Monday of every month from March to December. And if you go to our website, if anyone's interested in membership, they can go to our website and go under members, and there's a membership application.
Awesome.
And we're always looking for members that like to do great projects, and there's a lot of camaraderie with the ladies or men, whatever.
Sure.
And so we'd be happy to have people join us.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'd encourage people to check out our website, clarkstonrotary.org. We have a list of speakers down the side, so every Monday we try to have a speaker, and just drop in for dinner, join us for dinner.
Well,
And I'm
good deal.
really interested in the garden club. We'll have to have you speak to the Rotary because it sounds like we could kind of do some things together.
Good.
It's great.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the time we have with Service for the Community, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.